Hi, I'm Tom Lu. Today I'm in Milan, the second largest city of Italy, only after Rome. Last year, we traveled to Florence, the birthplace of the Renaissance. No Renaissance journey, however, will be complete without visiting Milan. Milan is also a significant Renaissance city where Leonardo da Vinci once lived, worked, and developed a big part of his career. Thanks to its rich historical and cultural heritage, today Milan is an economic powerhouse of Europe and a fashion center of the world. In the next few days, we are going to explore Milan. However you look at the great cathedral, it is noble, it is beautiful. Wherever you stand in Milan, or within 7 miles of Milan, it is visible. And when it is visible, no other object can chain your whole attention. Leave your eyes unfettered by your will, but a single instant, and they will surely turn to seek it. It is the first thing you look for when you rise in the morning, and the last your lingering gaze rests upon at night. Surely it must be the princeliest creation that ever brain of man conceive. Mark Twain, 1869. Visiting the Cathedral of Milan is a mind-blowing journey among Italian art, history, and tradition. The grandeur of the building, its physical size and artistic scale, the intricacy and the amount of details astonished me. It was designed and constructed by the architects and artists with so much passion and devotion that a man could ever imagine. Promoted by the Archbishop Antonio da Saluzzo and the Lord of Milan Gian Galeazzo Visconti, the construction of the cathedral began as early as 1386. In medieval times, when illiteracy was widespread, the cathedral was built to teach the Bible stories to the population through artworks, paintings, sculptures, stained glass windows. When the morning sun rays shine through the stained glass windows, it symbolized the light of Jesus Christ illuminating mankind. In its design, Visconti decided to adopt the Gothic style, which was popular in Germany and France at the time, thinking the slender shapes in the Gothic architecture could reflect Milan's prosperity and modernity under his rule. He also decided to use white marbles as the building material. It marked a departure from using traditional and well-established terracotta bricks. The marbles were quarried from the western shore of Lake Maggiore, 86 kilometers northwest of Milan, and transported to the construction site in Milan via the waterways by boat. The construction has undergone several stages over the course of history. In each stage, significant expansion and modification were made to the cathedral. At the first glance, the cathedral is like an imposing pure white mountain of marble. Clusters of vertical objects guide you to look upward, inspiring awe. The Gothic style is dominant here. It is characterized by the heavy usage of counterforts, flying buttresses, spires, and large ogival windows. They alternate and encircle the building, creating a strong sense of verticality and upward tension. The extravagant and intricate sculpture works add to the architectural splendor. It's also influenced by the local tradition, such as overabundance of statues and local decorative elements. The facade, divided by 6 counterforts into 5 sections that correspond to the nave and aisles inside the cathedral. There are 5 bronze doors and balconies, and large ogival windows. This arrangement is the result of numerous considerations and reconsiderations as to style by the architects over the centuries. The most outstanding feature of the facade is the intricate sculptural works and the reliefs, which were created by various sculptors in different eras. The tympanum among the central door is a relief depicting the creation of Eve. The building is surrounded by numerous counterforts, crowned by spires. Each spire hosts a neoclassical statue of a biblical character atop, a saint, a prophet, or an apostle, standing and gazing down. There are 135 spires that support the statues. The oldest one, carrying St. George with his halberd, really represents Duke Galeazzo Visconti. The other spires were added much later, a few in the 16th century, about a dozen in the 17th and 18th centuries, and most of them in the 19th century. The roof consists of a system of sloping and accessible terraces with connecting walkways and stairs, which allow you to view and almost touch the flying buttresses, crockets, spires, and statues in close proximity, and enjoy a fantastic panoramic view over the city and beyond. The roof is dominated by a magnificent octagonal lantern, created at the end of the 15th century. It is surmounted by the Great Spire, topped by the famous statue Madonnina, a Virgin Mary, to whom the cathedral is dedicated. If the cathedral is a symbol of Milan in the world, the Madonnina, perched on the highest spire of the cathedral, represents the heart and soul of the city. People in Milan have always believed the Madonnina protects their city. The statue stands more than 4 meters high and is made from embossed and gilded copper laminate. Modeled by Giuseppe Perugio and crafted by the goldsmith Giuseppe Bini, it was placed on the summit of the Great Spire in 1774, making the total height of the cathedral 108.5 meters. By tradition, no building in Milan is higher than the Madonnina. Quote, "The effect of it, piercing the solid blue with those groups of dazzling spires, relieved by the serene depth of this Italian heaven, is beyond anything I had imagined." Percy Bysshe, 1818. In Europe, a cathedral generally represents the heart of a city and the civilization of a nation. Not only does it serve as a sacred religious landmark, but also an enduring cultural icon, telling the stories of history and human aspiration. For those reasons, a cathedral is often located at the center of a city, symbolizing its central role in the public life. Milan Cathedral, affectionately known as the Duomo, is in the central location of Milan, with all roads either radiating from it or circling it. With a length of 157 meters and a height of 108 meters, it's the largest church in Italy and the third largest in the world. Its construction began in 1386 and spanned nearly 6 centuries. with the final stage completed in 1965. It was built above the remains of old religious buildings that once stood on the site. The cathedral is renowned for its elaborate Gothic style, characterized by its intricate facade, pointed arches, ribbed vaults, and flying buttresses. It also features hundreds of spires and pinnacles, each adorned with sculptures and statues. Milan Cathedral has over 3,400 statues, including saints, angels, and historical figures. Many gargoyle-style figures and grotesques also adorn the exterior, serving both decorative and practical purposes, such as rainwater drainage. Milan Cathedral is not only a symbol of religious devotion, but also a masterpiece of human craftsmanship and architectural innovation. These gargoyles are architectural feature of medieval cathedrals and churches in Gothic era. They usually serve two purposes. One is to scare the demons. The other is to let the water flow, to protect the columns from water erosion. When you walk on the rooftop of Milan Cathedral, you will notice those gargoyles. In the Gothic architecture, a gargoyle is a mythical figure carved from stone and affixed to the walls or roof of a building. The gargoyle often has a monstrous face, wings, and a twisted body. A spout is designed through its open mouth to convey rainwater from the roof away from the side of a building, preventing it from running down stone walls and eroding the mortar between. It also serves a symbolic role. In medieval times, gargoyles were believed to ward off evil spirits, possibly due to their frightening appearance. Walking on the rooftop, visitors will immerse themselves in a forest of soaring spires, marvel at elaborate sculptures, delicate stone carvings, and together they create a breathtaking silhouette against the Milanese sky. All of these elements are the most iconic features of Milan Cathedral and will leave indelible mark in your memory. The interior of Milan Cathedral is equally grand and awe-inspiring. The floor plan is a Latin cross, where the transept crosses the central nave. The vast central nave, flanked by aisles and chapels, can accommodate up to 40,000 worshippers. The vaulted ceilings are supported by 52 towering stone columns, representing the weeks of a year. These massive columns rise dramatically from the floor to form ribbed, vaulted ceilings, creating a sense of height and space, drawing eyes to the heaven. The columns, decorated with carved statues of saints and biblical figures, divide the interior into 5 naves. The columns are some of the most impressive features, as they appear to be bundled together like reeds, with ornate capitals. The ceiling is adorned with intricate stone tracery, contributing to its ethereal feel. The cathedral is filled with magnificent stained glass windows, which depict scenes from the Bible and the lives of Jesus Christ and the saints. They are among the finest glassworks in Europe, adding to the spiritual atmosphere. These windows were made in different periods of history by using different techniques. The oldest windows, from the 15th and the 16th centuries, were made of colored glass paste in the typical Renaissance style. The stained glass windows from the 19th century were made using the technique of painting on glass, which provides a greater range of colors, but with the loss of transparency, however. The old traditional method was adopted again for the most recent windows in the 20th century. The colorful light filters through these windows, casting a mystical glow across the interior. The scene is so impressive that it has inspired numerous famous writers, poets, and artists who have walked the floor of the cathedral. The marble flooring has a particular decorative and elegant design, with a distinctive pattern of black, white, and red in flower and geometric shapes and forms. Laying of the floor started in 1585 and continued for centuries, and only ended in the 20th century. The pink-white blocks of candelier marble are intersected with black marble from Verona. The cathedral's numerous altars, side chapels, and monuments are richly decorated with detailed sculptures, vivid paintings, and gilded elements, which depict various religious events and biblical figures. One of the most famous artworks within the cathedral is a statue of St. Bartholomew flayed. St. Bartholomew was one of Christ's apostles. When he was spreading Christianity in Armenia around 70 AD, he was kidnapped and martyred by being flayed alive and then beheaded. This gruesome form of execution led to his association with skin and tanners. St. Bartholomew's missionary work and martyrdom left a significant mark on Christian history. His life symbolizes unwavering faith, sacrifice, and a dedication to spreading the teachings of Christ, even in the face of brutal persecution. Created in 1562 by the Italian sculptor Marco di Agri, this unusual and striking Renaissance sculpture shows the saint holding his own skin. It has captivated visitors for centuries because not only is the statue a Renaissance masterpiece of art, but also a good study of anatomy due to its highly detailed and anatomically accurate depiction. The cathedral has hosted several significant historical events. The coronation of Napoleon Bonaparte as King of Italy in 1805 took place in Milan Cathedral. When Milan was designated as the European Capital of Culture in 1986, Milan Cathedral was central to the year's cultural celebrations. The cathedral became the symbol of Milan's rich artistic, architectural, and historical legacy. The combination of its towering space, intricate details, and a solemn atmosphere makes Milan Cathedral's interior a stunning display of Milanese religious art and architecture. The light passing through the stained glass windows, the singular architectural forms, and finally the general appearance of the church create the silent image of this mystery of the infinity one feels inside. Madame de Staël, 1807,